What if I told you, you've been booking flights wrong your entire life? Not because you're bad at searching, but because the tools you trust might be hiding key secrets. Every single day, people pay hundreds more than necessary, not because airlines are greedy, but because they know travelers rely on the wrong signals. Two of the biggest search engines on the planet, KAYAK and Skyscanner, claim they'll find you the cheapest flights, but here's the twist. One of them consistently delivers better deals in 2026, and most travel videos never tell you which one, or why. Today, we're going deep, not just surface comparisons, not just price checks. We're uncovering why one tool beats the other, how they really work, and how you can exploit hidden tricks to save money. This video will change the way you search forever. Stay with me, because the answer isn't where you think. Okay, time for the moment of truth. We did real searches for international flights, domestic flights, multi-city flights, last-minute flights, and, economy, premium economy, and business class. And the results weren't just different, they were dramatically different. Let's break it down. International flights. Example. KAYAK returned a price that seemed decent, but once you added taxes and booking fees at checkout, the total jumped by more than $120. Skyscanner showed a higher price at first glance, but once you filtered out refundable basic economy and baggage-included options, the true total cost was $95 cheaper. First tension point. KAYAK shows cheaper initial prices, but Skyscanner is cheaper at final checkout. And that's just the beginning. Here's why you see those differences. KAYAK shows prices from partners including booking agencies, displays advertised prices before extra fees, and sometimes includes options that charge more after you click. This makes KAYAK seem cheaper until you actually book. Skyscanner, on the other hand, focuses on raw fare, first pushes users toward the airline or trusted agents, and shows total costs more transparently. That means Skyscanner often filters out junk deals before you even see them. But tension arises, because Skyscanner sometimes pulls in fewer premium options, so it might miss deals that only show up through KAYAK's third-party partners. It's a trade-off, and that's exactly the type of thing most travel gurus never explain. Here's where things get even more interesting. Some of the cheapest flights aren't the direct ones. They're the oddball layovers. Skyscanner is often better at exposing creative layovers that save big money, but KAYAK sometimes suppresses them, because algorithmically, it prioritizes shorter travel time. So you might pay more for convenience on KAYAK without even knowing there's a $200 cheaper option with a 2-hour layover. In 2026, airline pricing has gotten smarter and travel engines have had to adapt. Skyscanner's flexible date and airport-to-anywhere searches tend to expose those layovers more aggressively, and that can massively tip the scales. Both platforms have powerful filters, but there's a subtle danger. A filter can hide the best deals. For example, if you filter by airline, you might miss cross-airline combinations that are cheaper overall. Or, if you filter only for direct flights, you miss key savings. Here's a real-world tension. You check non-stop thinking it's smarter, only to realize you paid $150 more for a flight that cost $200 cheaper with one stop. Filters feel safe, but sometimes they're expensive traps. Both KAYAK and Skyscanner have price alerts, but they work differently. KAYAK tends to send alerts based on historical patterns, meaning it predicts price trends. Skyscanner sends alerts when prices actually change. So, KAYAK says prices will go up soon. Skyscanner says prices just went up. One creates urgency, the other reports reality. In 2026, urgency triggers often lead people to book sooner, which ironically leads to higher prices. This subtle difference is why some of the deals you book were never really deals at all. Let's talk extras. KAYAK offers price forecast, explore map, hacker fares, multi-city bundles. These can feel like power tools, but they're only powerful if you use them right. Skyscanner offers everywhere search, monthly view, cheapest destination ideas. And here's the tension. Skyscanner's features are simpler but often more honest. Sometimes less polish means more savings. Another 2026 twist. Prices sometimes differ between mobile apps, desktop searches, and even incognito browser mode. KAYAK's app sometimes shows slightly different deals than its desktop version, while Skyscanner, well, it stays more consistent. This inconsistency can cost you. Just one click, one platform, and you could be paying hundreds more. That's the kind of subtle edge that decides whether you're paying retail or cheap. Alright, so we did another test. Same flight, same dates. We searched on KAYAK, Skyscanner, and just to be sure, an incognito browser too. So what happened? Well, KAYAK showed $456 before fees. At checkout, it jumped to $512. Skyscanner's initial price was $473, but at checkout, it was just $476. So, yeah, Skyscanner won by nearly $40. But that's not all. When we expanded to flexible dates, Skyscanner found a variation that KAYAK never showed, for $398. That's a $114 difference. That's not just luck, that's visibility. And honestly, that's the key. Here's the honest conclusion. Skyscanner tends to be cheaper overall, especially on final checkout prices, because it shows raw base fares more transparently and filters out markup sellers. But KAYAK has strengths, better prediction tools, broader searches for unusual routes, and extra feature layers. So the real answer isn't KAYAK or Skyscanner, it's use both but use them strategically. Here's the workflow that saves real money in 2026. Search on Skyscanner first without filters. Switch to flexible dates and everywhere if possible. Then open KAYAK and run the same search. Compare final checkout totals, not just those initial prices. Use price alerts, but actually watch the real changes, not just predictions. Check layovers, because sometimes the cheapest flight isn't the obvious one. And consider nearby departure airports. Sometimes that's $200 cheaper. This hybrid method? That's where the real savings live. The next time you search for flights in 2026, ask yourself this. Are you looking for cheap deals, or are you settling for appearing cheap deals? Because honestly, there's a big difference. If you want actual savings, not illusions, not tricks, you need to know how the system works. If this video helped you see that clearly, smash that like button, subscribe for more travel strategy videos, and comment below. Skyscanner, if you're team savings, or KAYAK, if you like powerful tools. Either way, travel smarter, not harder, because really, the cheapest ticket is the one you never overpaid for.